Hello and welcome to eLeap. My name is Don and today I'm going to be sharing with you 8 tips to make your corporate training more effective. Are you ready? Tip number 1, make sure you customize your training for your internal audience. We all know that canned content, off-the-shelf content is great to get you moving quickly. It certainly helps you to access a wide variety of content that you do not need to create in-house. And you can launch and deploy very, very quickly. But here's the problem. With canned content, it doesn't always resonate with your target audience because it's not designed for your specific organization, right? So take the time to customize the content for your target audience. The more customized it is, the more effective your end users are likely to tell you that custom content is. Point number 2, decide who is going to conduct the training. Is this internal or external trainers? Now, the reason we mention this is because, look, external trainers bring with them a wealth of experience and information. They do this for a living. They have a ton of resources that they can access. Internal trainers come with advantages such as lower cost. They already are in the company. You don't need to pay any extra for that, right? And they know the company more than maybe external trainers would. So, make sure you kind of have that clear in your mind about using internal versus external trainers, because that has a role to play in how effective your training can be. So simply select the right option and you'll be able to certainly engage your trainers and your trainees more. Point number 3 is try not to attempt to set up or do a system makeover from top to bottom all by yourself. Look, it's a big job. It's complicated. You've got corporate culture. You've got battles in politics. You've got a whole lot of unknowns. And typically, if you intend to do something like this, you really should get external consultants and experts come in to help you kind of design the project and be able to make sure that you're covering all the bases and that they can monitor for you hiccups that might come down the road, so you are prepared for them. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, please standardize your training modules. It kind of rolls in from point number 1 when we said customize your content. With point number 4, standardize your training modules, here's what we're talking about. With any training effort, indeed with any project, it definitely makes sense to try to benchmark things, to try to measure the effectiveness of that training. If your content is all over the place, if the length of one course is so different from the other course, if the amount of questions in an assessment changes with every single course, that can throw a wrench into your attempt to benchmark and be able to gather data. So it's super important that when it comes to training modules for internal use, if you want to be able to get any data from it, please standardize that content and make sure that you are able to have kind of a baseline that you can call for. Point number 5, that takes us to point number 5, which is develop resources and address cultural differences, right? So develop resources that you can deploy, but make sure you know your target audience. And we live in a global world. We live in a multicultural world. It's important to know that content might not necessarily translate everywhere if you're not thinking about that, right? So the jokes that you use, use of humor, even use of color scheme is super important with different cultures. So just be aware of that as you develop your content. And that takes us to point number 6. Point number 6 is use trainees to bridge the intergenerational gap. Look, folks are living longer, they're working longer. We have new folks coming in from colleges, fresh blood, full of excitement. They know all the latest tech gear and games and Fortnite and Snapchat and what else is going on right now. And then you have older folks that have been around for a while and they have a ton of experience. They might not necessarily know all the new tech, but they have a wealth of information. Use those trainees to cross-fertilize and then be able to share those experiences with your audience, because that is going to be more relevant and that would create more engagement for your culture of training in your organization. So that's point number 6. Point number 7, engage your employees with your training. Look, we live in a time with unparalleled tools at our disposal for training. We've got videos, we've got audio, we've got VR, we've got AR, we've got simulations. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Use those tools. They are there for you, right? You don't have to spend a ton, but if you are smart about it, you know you will be able to access a lot of these resources, sometimes for free online. eLeap has great resources. Go to our website and check out some of the free resources we've got there, and you will be able to create some great content that is engaging. That's point number 7. And the more engaging your content is, the more likely your end users are to tell you that it is effective. All right, so that takes us to point number 8. This is super important. It's also the easiest thing to do. Ask for feedback. I cannot tell you how many times people simply walk away from the training, shut down the training program, and never ask for feedback. Something as simple as "how did I do?" can get you some great and powerful insights that will help you improve whatever you're doing. So these are great tips from eLeap to you, 8 of them. Check out our website for more information. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us.